My name is Captain Korvak, and if you're hearing this, you have opted to join the Lord's Alliance. As your superior, and the strongest one at that, it is my captainly duty to give you the 3 rules to not die in these times of war. Rule number 1, if someone tries to kill you, kill them back.
Oh, and what if they come back to life and try to kill you back like that click guy?
I just said that, Orion.
You mean the guy that exploded?
Let's not talk about that. Rule number 2, always be the smartest one in the room. It's gotten me this far, you see. And have a Maven. Have a Maven. He got me this far too. He's a good crow. And last but not least, rule number 3, if you ever doubt me, go talk to Smee.
I would never doubt you, Captain. We all love you.
I love me too, Smee. I love me too.
Welcome to the Lazy BardCast. I'm David Williams, the current Dungeon Master for Season 2 of our ongoing campaign, Into the Storm. And I'm pumped to play some D&D with the boys, because Wednesday is for the boys.
Oh.
My name is Kyle Paquin. I'm playing Talgrof, the shield dwarf paladin. He's looking for the shield. He doesn't have it, but he'll get it one day.
I sure hope the shield's above ground now, because... Oh, man.
We're not sure.
I'm Josh Yarnell, and I play Orion Goodbarrel, whose eyes are still adjusting to seeing the sunlight for the first time in like a week or so.
Yeah.
I'm Kyle Dell, and I'm playing Captain Korvak the Undying. And I am, he's really tired. He can really use a break for like at least 3 days.
My name is Sean Luke. I play Maven the Monolith Smolderbeard, a dwarven Tempest Cleric.
If you like what you hear, look us up at the Lazy BardCast, where things are found. For all other things lazy, check out www.lazybardcast.com, where you can find links to our episodes, player backstories, Patreon rewards, and more.
Previously on the Lazy BardCast.
All of you were transported magically from the Underdark into a very familiar tavern above ground within Waterdeep, the halfway house, Orion's home. Within, you encountered Orion's family chained by a number of drow, and after rescuing them, you made your way towards Waterdeep Harbor, where the ocean Splendor awaits.
Hey guys, come check out the boat!
Is a ship.
Your mother speaks up, Orion.
Well, is this where we're going?
I don't know.
For now, you might be safest here.
I'm going into my quarters.
All right. Do you all mind?
We have room here. You can stay here as long as you need to. Hopefully, the city clears out soon.
All right. They start shuffling onto the boat.
Talgrof will kind of grab Korvak's arm before he goes onto the ship and says, Korvak, I didn't really know you had a ship, but since you're the captain and all, I have to ask permission to come aboard if you have lodgings for me.
Wait. Can you walk me to my quarters?
Yeah, I can do that.
See, I've got this fancy hat up here. It's a captain's hat. And when you're a captain, you have a ship. So I don't know why you wouldn't think it was real, but I got a ship.
And at this point, you arrive at Korvak's door.
And come aboard.
Thanks, as Talgrof slowly pushes open the door.
And pushing open the door, Korvak, you see a familiar cabin, one that has been untouched since you were last here. You can see that the furniture still moved around, a small space in the corner of the room where you stored Click's old resting place. And you do see the one thing that has been disturbed in this room is there's a portrait of yourself above the bed.
Is it the younger you or the current you?
It's the current you in like a captain's uniform with a bunch of decorated medals and a hugely elaborate pirate's hat.
I feel like we'll just look up and be like, "Aye," and then go to lay down. I don't think it's gonna fully sink in yet, considering I'm all over the place. But I feel like,
Oh my god!
Tip your hat.
and then and go like. Basically, just immediately knock out on.
Sure,
like
yeah.
A
You
day
pass out.
soap or
It's
whatever.
easy enough. Even though it's the middle of the day, you are exhausted. You have died since you last slept. And you are tired.
Talgrof will see Korvak starting to snore and go to leave and look at the painting and kind of do a double take and instantly like think to himself, wow, I guess this guy was way more legit than I really gave him credit for.
Make a insight check, Talgrof.
That I have all these medals.
21.
Looking at the painting, even from this distance, it kind of resembles Korvak. You can tell that it was definitely recently painted, and whoever did it is not a very good painter. But you do see a small signature in the bottom left-hand corner that says Shmi as you close the door.
Wow, he deserves a
He's
promotion.
thinking of you.
Oh my gosh. He
That
needs a
doesn't
raise.
affect his
Sure,
impression.
that's fine. But you close the door and go find a bunk.
Maven's going to call for Tithir.
Tathir comes up, this elven, elegantly dressed but rugged, well-used clothing. His sword at the side is very patient manner as he approaches. And can I help you, Maven?
Maven being super exhausted also, with probably blood all over, is just going to like run his hands through his hair and be like, how are you doing?
We're doing well, much better than yourself, it seems.
Can you make sure no one wakes up the captain unless absolutely needed?
Yeah, that's not a problem. I can't imagine 3 attacks in less than 7
Hey,
days.
you never
right?
know. We went to a place where literally every single room was trying to kill us.
Ah, that sounds horrible and boring. Well, we can certainly look after the ship. Would you like us to stay docked for the night or pull out into the harbor and set anchor?
Let's just stay docked tonight. I'm not quite sure what the plan is yet. I might have to go back into town for something.
Not a problem, and I'll make sure no one comes on the boat.
All right. Any other reports to give while we were gone?
There was some minor reinforcing of the ship. We got most of the front of the hull reinforced with metals, various mixtures of metals gifted by the city itself.
Oh,
no debt
great.
to yourself. Other than that, nothing major aside from the city. I'm sure everyone aboard the ship can tell you exactly what went down.
Good work. Who killed the most pirates?
Looks around the ship, points a thumb at himself.
I'll shake his hand, and then I'll give him 20 gold in that handshake.
He takes the gold and
You keep that coming. You tell whoever gets the most pirate kills, they get more of that.
absolutely. Do you go find a bunk, Maven, or hang out for a while?
He's gonna just once over the ship himself.
Sure. Yeah, you start going over the ship. You can see that various crew members above deck, they've set up like a crude area to have like almost like a fire pit, an iron above ground fire pit in the center of the deck of the ship. Little sails are rolled up and out of the way, and it seems like they're preparing to kind of just make food, have some drinks, and celebrate a somewhat victory. Orion, your family makes their way onto the boat, and especially your younger brothers and sisters are looking around all the various sailors aboard the ship, and they seem pretty wary of everything that's going on. But after a few minutes, even the rougher of the sailors, they come up and like give them a little fist bump or play rock paper scissors, and you can see they're starting to get comfortable and running around.
After a little bit of time, I run over to
Your mom.
I don't remember any of their names. I run over to Pansy, my younger sister, that's closest in age to me. Tag, you're it, and then I run.
The way you just said that.
As soon as he runs, can Maven be right there, be like, no running on the ship.
Yeah, totally. And then they're doing that speed walking thing that kids do when they're told that they're not allowed to run.
I'm trying to get all of them to keep their mind off, what's going on.
Yeah.
Some lighthearted games.
Definitely, and they get into the games as well, and a few of them start climbing up the masts and really getting into climbing the nets.
Higher!
And you immediately, those of you who are still awake can tell that Orion's entire family shares the same adventurous spirit that he does.
Should go to the crow's nest. That's the good spot.
I'll meet you up there, sis.
All right, so you guys have some time. It's quiet, gentle rocking of the boat for those of you who want to sleep. Probably helps a lot. Is there anything in particular anybody would like to do?
Maven's gonna take like 20 minutes to pray tonight.
Is there any specifics you'd like to go over?
He's once again going to do his best to envision the future he wants, which is sitting atop a monolith and making sure the seas are safe from pirates. He's
Sure.
going to do that for like 10 minutes. And then he's going to do his best to talk to Cord and be like, hype him up about how many pirates I'm going to kill. Be like, I will slay all those who oppose me in your name.
Okay. Roll a D100 here.
96.
So as you're praying, Maven, you get into this space for the first time in a long time now, just having a moment to sit. Well, what feels like a very long time. And as you're concentrating, one hand kind of on the hilt of your sword, you remember the inscription on the side kind of runs through your mind while you're trying to connect to this. Together we grow strong. And that word together really sticks with you. As you're talking about killing all these pirates, you feel like a stronger push. You definitely get the sense that Cord is liking that intensity.
Oh, best god ever.
Orion, anything specific?
Yeah, I'll do some, story time, kind of how our dad used to do to the kids. And I'll kind of just tell them some of our adventures of what went down.
Sure. As the sun begins to go down, this fire pit, this faux fire pit that has been set up in the center of the ship is now it's pretty well ablaze, and a lot of the sailors and crew members have pulled up various pieces of wood to come and sit on, pulled up stools, and they're all sitting around eating actual food. Those of you who'd like it can have turkey legs and breads, things like that.
Pigging out.
All the sailors are definitely asking all manner of questions. One sailor in particular, he has an eye patch over his eye, and he picks it up to show you, see, it's not just there for looks, and puts it back down. There's just this mangled hole
You
where
can
his
hide
eye
your
used to
snacks
be.
in there.
But he takes a swig of his ale and, well, what's the most dangerous thing you guys fought while you were down there?
The most dangerous thing? Well, there were these flying oh man, what were those? They had spiky things. They had a lion's face, these flying manticores.
Oh,
We
yeah,
fought 3 of
manticores.
those. And then there was this big stone giant thing that Maven made disappear, and when you fall asleep at night, a woodman comes and all you have to eat are slop and beverage. And
by the time you finish your tale, your brothers and sisters are all intensely looking at you, but this guy is turned and is having a conversation with one of his buddies on the ship. They're just not even paying attention to what you're saying.
And now
But
we're here.
You've definitely captivated your brothers and sisters that are amazed with what it is that you've been able to accomplish.
And look at this sword. Yeah.
Oh, my other eye! You kind of poke the fire and have a flaming piece of wood for a minute before you put it back. Talgrof, as you're kind of settling down, your adrenaline's not pumping for the first time in 20 hours now, and you're finally calming down. You feel your heartbeat slow, but you sense another one underneath that. You sense the same heartbeat you've heard previously. Alongside yours, just the gentle dun, 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 of this stone heart you still hold.
Talgrof will grudgingly take his pack off where he knows he put this heart and just throw it across the room very absently.
You throw the whole pack across the room. Without any change, you still hear at the same volume, feel the same beat.
Talgrof just lays down in his bunk and tries to not hear it.
Is there anything specific you focus on?
He'll just hold his clan symbol and try to focus on the reason that he came out onto this adventure in the first place.
If you could please make a religion check for me.
14.
14 just barely passes. So, Talgrof, as you're focusing on this holy symbol, the beating gets more intense, almost as if it's in direct conflict with it before it begins to feel fluid and moving with your own beat. And then you hear a voice. Talgrof, I can speak to you.
Talgrof will jump up in his bed almost and hit his head against the bunk above
Sure.
him and kind of
You hear a hey from the top bunk. Keep it down. And then the guy rolls over and goes back to sleep.
will suspiciously look up and be like, "Who is this?"
You feel like an intense connection, unlike anything you felt before, not to an individual but to your god. You feel an intense connection to the silver flame. This woman speaking to you, she continues, and well, it's been quite some time, but this is Valega. I'm not sure how long it's been since I've talked to anyone.
No, I'm not sure how you're talking to me right now.
Look,
Show yourself.
Keep it down. Yeah, the guy fights like, shut up. Talgrof, you and I, we want the same things.
Where are you?
I'm not here. I've been dead for quite some time.
He's just brandishing his axe, like looking around the room with his dark vision.
My people have been led astray for quite some time. I believe you're the only one still following me.
I'm not following you for nothing.
Well, no, you seek the shield, such as I did.
Oh, of course I'm looking for the shield. Doesn't matter if you got your paws on it or not. Or whatever you got.
Talgrof, what is it that you think of me?
We know that you attacked the clan, stole the shield.
It seems I've been painted in such a way. The shield is more than what you think, Talgrof. It's not just a shield. It's something far more corruptible.
The point is that I need it. I was given this quest by the elders.
They seek the shield for their own means, but it's because they've lost sight of the flame. They've lost sight of me.
I don't know what this is about, but all I care about is getting the shield back to the clan.
We can't give it back to the clan, Talgrof. If we give it back to the clan, what's been happening will continue. Look at what happens when the shield's in the wrong hands. This city was just attacked because of it.
So it is here.
It's far from here. As far as you can get from here, but it's coming closer.
Well, then I guess we just have to stay around. But I don't need you here or wherever you are.
As you say that, Talgrof, you feel almost a break from the silver flame. You feel like a momentary disconnect before Valega begins talking again. And Talgrof, I can only hold on so long. You're the last who follows me, who follows the true flame.
This is some sort of weird magic.
Why do you think they chose you to fetch the shield? Why not one of them?
I was the only one willing to do it.
They no longer hold the gifts the silver flame may gift. They're powerless. They're pawns.
For me, it's not about what the shield does. It's about what it represents for me. If I get the shield for the clan, I'm back in the clan. I can't go back without it.
There's a long silence. I knew it was a mistake picking dwarves. And then it goes quiet.
Why'd you say that to my face? Where are you?
And you no longer hear or feel that sensation of that beating.
I'm not sure I like this ship. And he'll sit back into his bunk.
Okay. All right, Orion, your family goes down below decks, gets situated in whatever free bunks there are, and you all batter down for the time being for a long rest, during which you all level up.
Ayo! Level 9.
Korvak, you wake up from your long rest, and your leg, where your peg leg is, it's just really, really hurting, like thudding pain.
Oh man, it feels like I lost a leg. Oh.
You whip off the covers, and a black wispy smoke kind of disperses as the covers are pulled off of your body, and the pain immediately, fleetingly fades as the smoke, this familiar essence, makes its way sentiently down and through the boards in the bottom of the boat.
I don't like that. It's me. Wait, let me get up. I'll get up and then go to my door, and then I'll be like,
Sure.
"It's me."
You get up out of bed and you stand up and begin walking in the direction of the door, and this smoke emanates and stands in front of the doorway. This familiar, featureless, humanoid-like figure in front of you, the same one that had teleported you here and was pulling on you specifically. And it stands there for a few moments, just silently. You can feel it kind of looking at you, though there's no eyes or anything like that. You just feel its gaze centered on you.
Can you know I'll help you?
It doesn't respond, but this essence begins to move around the room, obscuring the view of the floor where the coffin that you once were gifted to put Click's body in. While that area is obscured, it begins making its way around the walls, covering the windows, putting the room in complete darkness. Continues wrapping around to the portrait of yourself in the back and covers that up. And you're just standing in complete darkness, barely able to see this figure in front of you.
Oh, what do you want? I'm gonna slowly start stepping back towards the door.
The familiar voice answers, "To show you."
Show me what?
As the smoke now completely encompasses the rooms, cutting off all sources of light. Still, this humanoid-like figure in front of you is somewhat visible, as it's just kind of shakily moving, and then the smoke begins to break at the ceiling, and you don't see the roof of a ship. Instead, you're hit with sun, as this smoke descends down, and you notice that this thing that previously teleported all of you has now teleported you, Korvak, into what looks like a large desert. Dunes end to end as far as you can see. It's horribly hot. But what strikes you most strange about this, now the figure dissipates. It moves down, and almost like a snake beneath the sand, you see it darting its way, and you look in the direction it's darting, and you can see what looks like a tiered city. A city wrapped in what looks like bone on the exterior, the bottom of which is this black essence. Hundreds, thousands maybe of hands are grabbing onto the sand and just pulling it through the desert a little bit at a time, leaving a large rut in its wake. Within the city, you can see, even from where you are, you can make out various figures floating between the various tiers of this city. This black essence, whatever it is tethering it. Each layer, 6 layers tall, tethering it and moving it through this desert. These hands endlessly pulling it. And it's just slowly creeping its way across the desert in front of you, endlessly. Between the tiers, you can see what you imagine to be spirits or things of that nature floating between the tiers, going up and down, souls being traded between various members of this society as it's just making its way through the desert.
What is this?
A figure begins to walk out. These bone walls, a section of them open up, and a figure begins hobbling in your direction. And as it's getting closer, you can see that it's made of not all organic material. You can see that its right arm is made of wood, barely holding together. You, Kyle, would recognize it as closer to what Gideon was made of. His leg more methodically placed and created, very similar to your own, Korvak's. As this figure begins making its way towards you, it's very obvious as it gets closer that its face is shriveled back onto just this bony mass, whatever it is. It just begins hobbling in your direction, the city still endlessly scraping its way across the desert.
Slowly but progressively faster, start walking backwards. Or behind me, like away from it.
You turn and you take a step and thud straight into the door that exits your cabin. And as you turn around, you're back in the ship. None of this is here.
I take the leg off.
Okay. You take the leg off and you hear just a faint voice, the same familiar voice that just says, "We're coming." The second you separate your leg from your knee, this thudding pain comes back. It's bordering on unbearable. But you take it off and you put it on the other side of the room. And
yeah, I'll just keep staring at it, doing my best to ignore the pain and figure it out in my head. Like try to fill in the pieces that I don't know. And eventually, after I can't focus anymore, I'm going to put the leg back on.
And you put the leg back on, you feel a sense of relief just wash over your entire body as you now feel whole again.
I'll shake it off for now. I'm going to go down to and try to find Talgrof.
Yeah, you head down and you see Talgrof snoring in his bunk underneath a guy that he has his arm draped over the edge, barely holding onto an empty glass of wine. He's holding it off the edge of the bunk, snoring even louder than Talgrof.
Talgrof, I'm going to kick him with my pig.
Oh, where are you? Show yourself.
Watch it, man. Watch it.
Have you been talking to me earlier?
I've been sleeping for not as long as I'd like.
You know what? Something tells me that you couldn't really lie to me if you tried.
What would I lie about?
What do you want?
You got that whole...
I do a really bad, like, magic charade. Like,
holy magic, right?
Something like that, yeah.
I'm going to try to put this in a way you can understand. I've got some dark that is in need of some light.
Yeah, I think I know something that could help with that.
Do your thing.
Where is the dark?
Oh, sorry. My leg.
I'm not sure I follow here. Maybe you ought to show it to me.
There's something in this thing.
As I'm lifting my leg up now, standing up,
waving it around.
On this thing that might be dark and evil, and I need you to make it go away.
Or I could just cut it off and throw it in the water if you don't want me to do that.
Well, to be fair, it's already been cut off.
Korvak, as you say, and make it go away, you feel afraid. As much as you want this leg gone, Something about it makes you too whole to get rid of.
All right, I'll give it a shot, I suppose.
Great, and I'll go sit in my chair and hike my leg up. Do your thing.
For dramatic effect, I'll kind of like raise my hands up and like shimmer them down sort of with spirit fingers and then touch his leg and cast Remove Curse.
Okay. As you're casting your spell, Talgrof, you hear a familiar voice. You hear, "Oh, now you need my help." And you cast Remove Curse.
Where are you? Show yourself.
Your hands come down onto his leg, Talgrof, and as they do, you do feel like a darkness, as Korvak had described it. And you cast Remove Curse, you don't feel that darkness dissipate. It feels like whatever is here is not a curse, but something much more tangible.
Unfortunately, looks like your leg isn't really cursed. It's got something else going on with it. You'd have to take it to someone who's an artificer or something. Do you happen to know anyone like that?
An artificer.
Someone who works with magical instruments. You know, I feel like I remember that guy Gideon we were with. He was pretty good with that kind of stuff. I'm not sure what became of him. Wonder if he's even still alive.
Here's my problem. I take it off. It hits. I put it on. I got a peg. Are you following me, man?
Clearly there's some kind of magic, but it's not cursed. I can't really help you with it. Maybe ask Maven when he wakes up. He's got other kind of magic.
All right, Mr. Talgrof. You can go along now.
Oh, thank you, Captain.
As you're basically standing right next to your bed.
Right. I'm gonna go find Maven.
Okay. Yeah, you see Maven about 2 bunks down, probably being stirred awake by this whole encounter.
Maven.
Your leg hurts. It hurts when you take it off. I got it. It's not a curse
You're
either.
good.
I can cut it off a little higher and then maybe it won't hurt anymore.
Not my first option.
I could punch you really hard in the face and then maybe that pain will overtake the other pain.
I appreciate your very determined means of helping me, but I think we're losing track here a moment. So, there's something dark in this thing, and I need you to make it go away.
Maybe if we destroy it, it'll go away.
I guess that makes sense if I just destroy it, but then I need another one, because
Well, I can make you one. I have a blacksmith back in the day.
I would very much appreciate that.
And maybe just ask Orion if he could do that nursery rhyme he does where he gets rid of magic stuff.
I mean, Talgrof had the twinkly fingers, and I feel like I trust that more than a story of whoever. Can you just make me a leg and I'll...
Yeah, I'll make you like...
So you guys get your long rest in. At this point, it's probably around the middle of the night, maybe a little bit before. Most people are coming in to go to sleep, been asleep for a little bit, or still up on the ship talking about the fight that it just happened around the fire on the upper deck. Leo comes up to you, Orion. Well, it seems we have a moment.
Hey, Dad. How you doing?
It's good to see you while we're not fighting for our lives or running.
It's great to see all of you, too.
I'm sorry I've kept so many things from you. Your mother and I have.
I understand. That's okay.
Good. Has the loot been treating you well?
Oh, it's so cool. I can do this thing now where like it like protects everyone around me. Oh, it's so cool.
Really?
Yeah.
That is really cool. I never saw that side of the loot.
I've been writing so many songs, and I'm thinking about a musical now after we watched one about you. It was crazy.
A musical about me?
Yeah.
Where did you see a musical about me?
Well, we were down in this place called Skullport, and we were checking out the old house, and, you know, everyone really liked you, and you wore shorts, and, you know, it was great.
They made a musical of me in Skullport. You can tell your father's demeanor has turned to one of almost anger.
Yeah, they said that you killed this big eye thing.
They said that?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, was it a good musical?
No, I think I can do better.
Well, that's very cool. Do you have any questions for me, Orion?
Did you really kill that thing?
Well, with some assistance I did, yes.
And you don't like shorts anymore?
Well, it's It's just a little demeaning. Kind of pulls up his leg pulls up his leg. He pulls up his pants, and you can see that there is like a piece of wood that goes into his shoe.
I never noticed.
Well,
we did kind of like walk like you behind your back when we were kids.
I imagine so, but I just never drew attention to it.
Huh. Well, I'm sorry the house is all broken and that we can't go back there right now.
That's fine. It's the least of my worries. So I'm just glad you and your brothers and your mother are all safe. So
Yeah. Well, is there any place that you guys want to go? I mean, I can pretty much convince the captain to go anywhere we want right now.
To be honest, Orion, I think we'd like to make our way back to the halfway house.
Okay.
I don't feel comfortable adventuring with Pansy and even some of the Olders. I couldn't put their lives in danger. I've been down that road solo, and part of the reason I quit.
Well, that makes sense.
You going to continue on?
Yeah, there's too much going on right now, and I have to help my friend Talgrof find the shield, and we have to see what's going on with the thing in the sky, and I think there's a lot of people that I can still help.
Well, I hope you can. Truly, I do. I'm very proud of you.
Oh, I'll give him a big hug.
He'll give you one back, and then your family, they'll head out off of the ship onto the beach, and you see him talking with some guards, and a small, probably 4 or 5 guards break off with your family and start heading into the city slowly. It seems like any fires that had broken out in the city have since been put out since you all went to sleep. There's no more fighting that you can hear, no more cannon fire. It seems like most threats have been taken care of, but they're going with some guards just in case.
And then all the like things coming out of the portal like aren't making a home there in the city. They've either died or kind of
they've
fled
either
off
died
somewhere.
or you all would have seen some of them go in a similar direction as the large black dragon that came out of the portal.
Okay. Well, it's been really great to see and talk to you guys.
Of course. You'll come visit before you leave, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. We'll be waiting.
Okay.
Your family heads off with the guards and makes their way into the city.
I'd like to cast sending to Lady Silverhand.
Okay. What are you going to say?
It's Maven. We're currently at our ship. We're out of the well. Do you know what's happening? Do you need our help?
Doing fine. Durnan's gone. In pursuit. Don't come after us. Hope you're well. Stay safe.
After saying bye to my family, I've been like staring up at the top of the mast, and I go, "Hey Maven, have you ever jumped off that before?
Yeah.
Let's do it." And I start climbing the mast.
All right, let's go.
So you guys make it to the top of the mast easily enough as you're climbing up the ladder. You get up to the crow's nest, and Orion, you can see a lot of water deep. It's just above the walls of the city, the mast is, so you can see kind of the sloping upwards hillside that Waterdeep is built on. You can see the castle in the center of the city. Nice. It's a really cool view, and looking out to the ocean, you can see a small island and then just open expanse for as far as you can see. Even at night, the moon shining right now is incredibly bright when there's not lights.
The trick is to slide down the mast itself. Don't just free fall down.
Here we go! And I'm gonna jump. And on my way down, I go, "I'm Batbard!" And I'll turn into a bat before I hit the ground.
Excellent. You jump around, you start plummeting, and then you flap out your cape, you start flying away to wherever you want to go. Maven, you watch it happen.
While I'm up here, I'm actually going to use my spyglass really quick and just scan the area.
Yeah, make a perception check. Orion, a lot of the crew members, they hear you yelling as you're falling, and you see a lot of them,
up.
and then you turn to a bat, and they're like, "What?" Looking at each other. Did you see that?
I'll just kind of fly circles above Maven to see what he does while he's up there.
Natural 20 for 27.
As you're looking around in the water, kind of just scanning the horizon, you don't see any ships, you don't see any creatures, anything of that nature. You turn towards Waterdeep, and your eye catches someone coming out of the Warrens. This figure appears to be attempting to hide his appearance. Definitely a human. You can just make out like the lower chin, definitely cleanly shaved, a white male, and he's wearing a long brown cape over the top of his head, pulled down tight, and he comes out, and as he shuts the door, you see a flickering bluish barrier go on in front of it. What catches your eye is two things. One, he's wet, like soaking wet, like he's been swimming. 2 is a symbol on the back of his cape-like attire when he turns around. It's a circular symbol that is made of a number of tentacles. It looks to be like a kraken.
Well, I don't like that at all.
But he darts out from the Warrens, turns directly to the left, and then your line of sight is broken by buildings as you're kind of looking into the city from this angle.
How far out is that?
You're probably, you guess, 600 to 800 feet.
Maybe we'll be like to the bat by him and be like, did you see that? And he'll close his spyglass, and then he'll slide down the mast as much as he can until there's a break, and then he'll just go.
You slide down. Orion, Maven yells out, did you see that? You have no idea what he's talking about.
I follow him.
But you're a bat.
Yep, I'll follow him.
You slide down and hit the deck of the ship.
Cool. I start running towards him.
Yeah, you break into the city, and as you run through...
One thing. I'm going to be like, Tathir, I'll be right back. I see some guy that looks like kind of suspicious of Talgrof and Korvak acid. I'm going this way. Okay. I say towards the Warrens.
Okay, perfect. And you start booking it down the beach with Orion in tow as a bat squeaking along the way as you're navigating with echolocation. I don't know, that was probably an overshare. It's fine.
I'm following.
Actually, Korvak and Talgrof, you guys are probably roaming the deck of the ship, kind of talking with the sailors. They have their little faux barbecue going on and drinking wine and whatnot. And you probably see Maven jump off of the boat, followed quickly by Orion, who then just book it down the harbor in the direction of the city. And Tathir comes running up to the first of you he sees. Well, Maven just ran off. He said he'd be back, not to let anybody on board the ship. I'm not sure where they're headed.
I trust him, and if he's running off in such a hurry, we probably should brace ourselves for potential.
Potentially.
Potentially.
Potential what?
Some potential combat of some sort. Brace yourselves for people we don't want to see.
You know what? I think maybe I'll stand on the dock. I'll guard the boarding plank.
And I will guard my quarters.
Aye, Captain. And Tathir starts kind of making his rounds of the ship. You see him peering over into the water, alerting a few of the sailors, and now the drinking has kind of come to a close as most of them are aware of some sort of danger. So, Maven and Orion, as you run into the city, Maven, you know generally where this figure is going to be. It's probably going to take a minute or two to get there.
Sure.
Survival check for me real quickly.
21.
So you start running through the city, taking some shortcuts through back alleys and making your way as quickly as possible to the entrance to this Warrens that you know of. And you break out into the city there. This is the cobbled street. You can see that there is a small pool of blood in the road, and next to it is someone you recognize, Maven. Orion, you've never seen this figure before, but you see Ompar, the plump, gnomish man that you met in the Warrens previously, lying on the road. It looks like someone's hit him over the head near the entryway to the Warrens here. This is kind of secret entrance in the side of this brick wall. He appears to be breathing. The blood is definitely fresh, and you don't see anyone in the immediate vicinity.
I'll run up to him. Where'd he go? Which way did he go?
You run up to him, and you see he is unconscious.
Damn it.
I'll shake him a little bit.
You shake him, a little bit more blood comes
I'll
out.
cure wounds him.
Okay, yeah, roll it.
10.
So you cure wounds him, and the bleeding definitely begins to subside in his head, but he's still not moving. He's lying unconscious on the ground.
I'll look up at Bat Bard.
What do bats sound like?
It's like a weird parrot.
I'm going to cast
Like a parrot with a tracheotomy.
locate object on the tabard I saw.
You sense it probably to the northeast, about 800 feet out.
Let's go.
Okay. Following this kind of compass that's guiding you in your mind, as you're running through the streets, you know where to turn left, right, and eventually you get to a brick wall that you can see another symbol for the Warrens. You imagine whatever figure this is retreated back within. You're in a completely different part of the city at this point, but you sense you're getting closer.
Well, he's in here. Do I know exactly how far he is for the locate object?
You'd imagine he's about 200 feet away at the moment. While you're standing, Maven, you can sense him moving. You don't get the sense that he's running from anything. He's definitely walking. And at this point, he gets about 15 feet further, and then it stops. You still hold a connection, but he's just standing.
I don't like this. Let's go back and get that guy.
All right.
I'll just take a mental note of knowing where he is now, and then I'll go back to Umpar.
He's still lying in the road, very similar to how you left him.
I'll just pick him up and then start bringing him back to the ship.
Maven, you pick him up. Even for a gnome, he's heavy, but he's a gnome.
Sure.
You're a strong dwarf. You're able to carry
it's like
him.
a big football.
And you start carrying him back to the ship.
I'll flutter next to Maven, and then I'll stop flying and rest on his shoulder.
You grab onto his shoulder and then like swing down upside down. Because it's comfier. I don't
He's
know.
a bat.
Why do bats do that? I don't know.
I don't know. They like the head rush.
Can we flash back real quick? And as I go to my quarters, I'm going to attempt to go back to sleep.
You get in bed and looking around, you swear every little shadow just looks like these wisps of smoke and it's getting to your head. But looking up over the bed, you see the shining figure that comforts you. If you could just make a constitution check to see if you can sleep.
10.
Between not only this figure just having forced this vision on you, but also having just woken up from a long rest, you're finding it very hard to sleep for now.
What I'm going to do in that case when I realize I can't and I keep like being paranoid of every shadow is I'm going to leave my quarters, grab someone's drink, just the first drink I get, and I'm just going to chug it.
You go out onto the deck and you grab someone's drink and he kind of gives you a look for a second before seeing you're the captain, and then he quickly gets over himself. And you down the first drink and you go to set it down, and for the first time, Korvak, you feel a Verdant presence being pushed into your mind, a flash of red that says danger, and you sense a general direction towards the city.
I'll kind of wince, like, and then kind of slowly go back to my quarters. But instead of going to sleep, even though I want to, I'm going to, like, keep an eye on the shore side window and just kind of stare out.
Yeah.
Because that is super strange, and I definitely haven't had any kind of Verdant communication in
you,
a
Korvak,
long time.
you probably haven't really had much Verdant communication ever. This is something you've definitely used before. It's something you're familiar with, but you've never felt another presence doing this to you.
What the hell's Verdant communication?
Verdant is
A
Korvak's
Verdant
race.
is my race, which is a goblinoid race. So I'm not a goblin, but I'm like a variant of it, essentially.
Right.
And they have a limited telepathy.
They can
that
like
they
flash
have,
a color and convey an emotion.
It's like very minimal forms of communication.
That is very helpful. Thank you.
So it's kind of like a disturbance in the Force.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That is a
Disturbance
great
in the
way to
Force.
put it. So Talgrof, as you're watching the dock, you see a figure, black hood up over his head. He seems to be holding like a box, almost like a milk crate style box. And he walks up to the dock and looks up at you and, delivery for the captain.
What you got?
Well, it's for the captain. Are you the captain?
No, I'm not to the captain. I think I'll take it.
Well, can you just go get the captain? He'll know who it's from.
I guess so. And they'll kind of
He just nods up to you,
slowly,
and he sets down the crate on the ground. See him sit down on the milk crate.
very squinty-eyed, looking back at him as he walks up the gangplank.
He has his back turned to you at this point as he's just sitting patiently on the
And I'll
dock.
go up and find some other deckhand, whether it's me or whoever, and
Sure.
say, "Can you get the captain?
Yeah.
Can you get the captain?"
Yeah, you find Tathir, and yes, I'll go fetch him quickly. Korvak, as you're lying there getting jumped by any little sound or anything that's happening, you hear go 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 on your door. It's Tathir. There's someone here for you.
I'll be right out.
This gentleman, Tathir motions to the side of the gangplank where you see a hooded figure now turn around. He stands up holding what looks like a milk crate, something in it, and he starts kind of walking up the gangplank. Captain Korvak, I assume?
Oh, yeah. Bring it up here.
As he gets onto the deck, he looks around and, well, I think this is as far as I go. And he sets the crate down on the ground. Pleasure. He salutes you and turns around to walk off the gangplank.
All right, I'll take it, and I'll kind of just drag it. I'm not even going to take exert all the energy to pick the whole thing up, but I'll just kind of pick it up and slide it along with me to my room.
Yeah, it feels a little bit heavy. You hear the sound of bottles clanking inside as well as coin as you're dragging it.
And I'll take a look at it in my quarters
And you start
by myself first, knowing the last package I got.
Sure. And you start unpacking it alone. You see that inside there are 3 very nice bottles of wine. There is a velvet pouch that feels quite heavy, and a sealed envelope with a symbol on it that you, Korvak, recognize, the 3 tendril-like fingers, the symbol of the Zentarum, the guild that you're a part of in Waterdeep.
I'm going to take the velvet coin purse out, and I'm going to weigh them out in my hand each. Oh, all right. I'll put the coin purse down, and I'm going to read the note.
Okay. You tear the note open and you pull it out. You see a very nicely written, thought-through note, though simple. Good work. Next target, Valith.
Oh, Valith. What can that mean? After kind of pondering for a second, I'll put that in my jacket pocket. And then I'm going to take a look at the wine, actually, just to kind of look at the bottles and kind of deduce what they are.
Yeah, looking over it, it is wrapped in a solid black label. No writing on the entire label. You know that this is pretty typical of the Zentarum, or what they're more commonly called the black market.
So I'm actually going to take one of the bottles, and I'm going to grab the velvet coin purse, and I'm going to go back to the bed. I'm going to uncork this one bottle, and I'm going to drink it to help knock me out because I'm tired.
Okay, make a con save with your 1 sip.
12.
You take 1 sip, Korvak, and what you know of black market distributed wine is that this would, consumed in any sort of large portion, would kill most people. But you take a sip, and near immediately, you're feeling pretty drunk already. And you're feeling tired, but you start counting out your coin.
Yeah, I'll take that sip, and as I feel, I'm like, this good stuff. I'll recork it. I'm going to put it just on the side of my bed. And then, yes, I'm going to start counting the coin.
You get to 10 gold, 20 gold, and then you realize it's not gold. It's platinum. You're 20 platinum in. And you keep going, and you hit 150 platinum. Wow.
Awesome. That's beautiful. I'm just going to lay in bed and just ride this wave.
Cool. Talgrof, you see Maven approaching with a plump gnomish figure on his shoulder. You see a bat hanging onto Maven as he's making his way up the gangplank.
Tithir, take this man get him a bunk and let me know when he wakes up.
Yeah, he grabs a few other men. They get him one under each armpit and drag him down the stairs.
Let's give him a nod. Thanks.
What happened to that guy, Maven?
I don't know yet. He knows something, though. We were chasing a guy, and I feel like it's linked.
Is that why you just ran off?
Yeah, I didn't like... It was one of those things, you know. Just, it didn't look right. Something was off about it.
Oh, well, I don't know if you've experienced any of this, but I feel like I'm hearing voices on the ship. I came in and I heard this voice. Listen, I was in my bunk and I kind of get quiet, and I started hearing this woman's voice. She said that she was the sorceress, the evil sorceress that took the shield from my clan, but she's not an evil sorceress or something, and the clan was lying, or it made no sense. It didn't make any sense to me. Have you ever experienced anything like that, or?
Like that, no. But, I mean, how do you know she's not lying? I don't know your clan. No offense. Do you know where you get your power from?
I get my power from my clan. He reaches and touches his silver flame clan symbol on around his neck.
Talgrof, as you say this and you feel your necklace, you feel a dullness to the necklace, a lack of connection.
I'm going to end my polymorph, hanging upside down under Maven's arm. Well, Talgrof, if you... Boom! Ow! Dang it!
What?
I like to think his head unpolymorphs first, and then his body.
Weighs him down.
I'll kind of write myself up.
I didn't know that you shouldn't... This was supposed to be a conversation between dwarfs.
Talgrof, like Maven said, how do you know that the person speaking to you was lying? Maybe it's worth another conversation.
So I should just go into a room and talk to the wall and say, hey, lady who claims to be my most evil nemesis, who might not be. What do you have to say?
Yeah, maybe. Do you want me to pretend to be her? Yeah, if you say that, maybe she'd say something like, yeah, everything I told you before was the truth.
You don't understand.
Maybe you don't understand, dwarf. Maven, how am I doing?
Maven and Talgrof just stop and just almost like, what the hell did you just say?
You can't say that.
It's our word. There's going to be maybe 3 seconds of silence, and I'm just going to say, fantastic.
Here's the thing, lad. Probably shouldn't say that to dwarves, but you have to understand. I've taken an oath, and it wasn't like I took this oath yesterday in my parents' bedroom. I've been on this journey for 15 years, traveling up and down the coast and in barren places, a lot of times alone, looking for the shield. I'm not just gonna drop everything, drop my oath for some lady in my head.
Have you had any other leads like this before about the shield in those 15 years?
No, this is as close as I've been.
Do you also think maybe it's taken so long because you don't have all the facts?
It's not so much that I don't have all the facts, it's that, well, they told me. At least some people did around the clan, and think the shield could be found. But they were dooming me to a quest that could never be accomplished, and that I'd die an oath breaker, being able to fulfill my vow. But you know, I couldn't accept that. It's been too long. I can still find it. I know I can.
I think you will.
Yeah, we can help you. But I'm not trying to confuse you or anything. I'm just, as someone who's not in the clan, if this person's talking to you, I mean, there's probably a really good reason for it.
I just don't know what to make of it.
What was this person's name?
Valega.
And how old is this?
That's the name you said way down in the dungeon. You saw the statue.
Yeah, I remember with the heart that I had for a while that was beaten.
So, is that her heart she's talking to you?
I don't know, it turned to stone. It's right here in my pack, actually, here. Just...
Yeah. Talgrof, as you pull it out, first off, Talgrof, you can take some inspiration. That was like the most real moment we've had in this podcast. But as you pull it out, Talgrof, you feel that faint heartbeat still emanating through you, and now it doesn't feel so intrusive. It feels almost a part of you, like in beat with your own, the rhythm flowing through your own body. And you feel that deep connection to this heart that you didn't feel when you grabbed onto your necklace, but you hand it out in Maven's direction.
I'm going to motion them to like a private quarters, not the captain's quarters, but just somewhere more private.
Sure. Yeah, you guys head below decks. You can see that there's a few sailors standing around Ompar, who is still unconscious on a bunk. And they're just looking over him. You can see a few of them are taking his pulse, cleaning up the back of his head, cleaning up his clothes a little bit. Besides that, there's a few people in the back of the room playing cards on a small table, but you guys have kind of a quiet area in here.
I'm going to set out some incense and be like, place the heart down right here. And then I'm going to put my sword like long ways by it too, and then I'm going to put a pile of gold there, and I'm going to cast divination.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask Cord or one of Cord's servants, basically talking to my sword, Spawny Comor, as if it's like a microphone.
So for specifics, divination, your magic, Maven, and an offering put you in contact with a god or a god's servants. You ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days. I offer a truthful reply. It can be a short phrase, a cryptic rhyme, an omen, a statement, whatever it is. It doesn't take into account any possible circumstances that might change the outcome, such as the casting of additional spells or the loss or gain of a companion. So you put out this gold. How much gold do you put out?
I'll put a little more than I need to. I'll put 35 gold out there.
35 gold. Okay, mark it off your sheet. You place down the sword, and in between the heart and the sword, you place down this 35 gold. And you watch as the words engraved on your sword, "Together we grow strong." You watch as from the heart this silvery essence is pulled from it. And Talgrof, you watch this happening as well. This essence of the silver flame, something you're very familiar with, is pulled from it and emanates around the gold, begins to be pulled from the heart as you see small bolts of electricity strike into the gold and connect with that silvery essence. And Maven, if you could please repeat your question for me.
Is Valega, who claims to be a part of the Silver Flame, are her intentions good towards Talgrof?
Few moments go by as you watch the gold being destroyed by these small strikes of lightning, the silvery essence melting pieces of it, and the gold begins to evaporate as Cord, this deity, and Vlega, whatever she may be, devour your offering and accept it. The answer that you get, Maven, is from Cord. It's from the essence that you follow. And he says, she is my equal.
Thanks for listening to the latest installment of our game, Into the Storm, Season 2. If you are arriving in the middle of the story, listen back to Season 1, The Dungeon of the Wacky Wizard, to discover our players' origins. Please take a moment to leave us a review on Apple Podcast to share your opinion about our show, and be sure to subscribe so you won't miss any Lazy Bard releases. Now, if you want more, check out patreon.com/thelazybardcast for bonus content, including merch, blooper reels, Korvak's custom class, and voting rights for our one-shot games. We'll see you next time on the Lazy BardCast.
Hi. Hi. Morning. I don't think I'm gonna say hi because that's just weird.
Check. To
Hi.
Ryan.
Hello. Okay, hold on. I gotta reread
I
this.
liked the hello. That was
yes.
for some reason way more Korvak.
I'm not gonna say hi. Hello. Although
Well, I was like, maybe that'll be different, but for some reason, hi is like, ugh.